McKenna Hilton was born January 9, 1998, to Stacy Hilton and David Schmus. She was a recent graduate of East Kentwood High School in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where she was well-liked and active, participating in cheerleading and musicals. She was talented, caring, loving, with a magnetic smile. She loved animals, especially her two dogs, Carl and Chloe. She had goals of becoming a medical therapist or a nurse, and one day moving to New Orleans. She had an older half-sister and a younger half-brother, Savon, from her father's marriage to another woman, which ended in divorce after McKenna was born. McKenna's parents' relationship was up and down, on and off. Her two half-siblings, who shared the same mom, seemed to blame McKenna for the breakdown in their parents' relationship. For the most part, however, McKenna got along with her half-siblings. There were times McKenna's mom worried. When they were younger, Savon pushed McKenna down a flight of stairs. David would dismiss her fears, saying he fought with his sister when they were kids, and that boys will be boys. When Savon was around 8 years old, he began spending summers with Stacy, David, and McKenna. The children seemed to form a bond during those times. Then in 2010, tensions were sparked again when David Schmus faced charges and ultimately pled guilty to surveilling an unclothed person after being accused of taking a picture of McKenna, then only 12 years old, while she was showering. David's story at the time was that he and McKenna had argued. He didn't like being argued with, and he wanted to embarrass her like he felt she had done to him. So he stuck a camera in as she showered and took a photo. He claimed the picture was only of the shower curtain. Due to his prior criminal record of illegal gun and drug possessions, he faced up to 15 years in prison, but ended up receiving 2 years probation and was required to undergo counseling. He violated probation by possessing alcohol and spent several weekends in jail. Stacy Hilton said they attended counseling and went through a trial period with him back in the home, but soon parted and found an apartment with McKenna. In the years that followed, McKenna had begun to repair her relationship with her father, having forgiven him and looking towards the future. Sunday, August 14, 2016, McKenna enjoyed a day at the beach with her parents and both half-siblings. Everyone got along and they had a wonderful time. She spent the night of Wednesday, August 17th with her maternal grandparents, who she was very close with, even wishing to be walked down the aisle by her grandfather whenever she got married in the future. She had a job at Target and was due to work the next day. Stacy Hilton left her home at 9:30 a.m. on Thursday, August 18, 2016. She said goodbye to Savon and headed out. Hours later, Stacy tried calling her daughter, but all calls went straight to voicemail, very unusual for McKenna. She called Target to try to get a hold of her, but was told that she had not shown up for her shift and they were unable to get in touch with her. When David arrived home, he noticed McKenna's car was parked outside the apartment building. Savon told him that McKenna had locked her keys in the car, had gone upstairs while speaking on the phone with someone, and eventually went back outside, still on the phone. Worried, they searched the area, but found nothing. Stacy began searching through local news when she ran across a report of a body of a young woman that had been found by someone walking their dog in a wooded area just off of a trail near Lamberton Lake, less than a mile from the Lamberton Lake apartments they lived in. The description was of a young woman, 18 to 21, fully dressed with marks about the neck, wearing a Pandora bracelet with an owl charm. Stacy's stomach dropped. She had given McKenna a Pandora bracelet with an owl charm as her graduation present. They contacted law enforcement and went to identify the body. It was McKenna. The police began to interview everyone. One by one, the family was cleared while hugging and consoling each other. Then they called Savon in. He was caught in a lie during questioning almost immediately. He then confessed. He confessed to strangling McKenna in the apartment, putting her body in her car, and driving it to the other side of the lake where he dumped her body off the trail. He told detectives that it was something he had thought about for a long time, even admitting to trying to kill her when he pushed her down the stairs when they were younger. What set him off that day? No one knows. If they do, it hasn't been released to the public. Savon was taken to juvenile detention while prosecutors decided what charges to file. The Kent County Assistant Prosecutor asked that bail be denied and to transfer Savon to Kent County Jail. The judge agreed. The 16-year-old was charged with open murder. Open murder is when the defendant is being charged with murder or manslaughter or multiple charges, without one being specifically named. With open murder, Michigan law does not require a prosecutor to choose between first-degree or second-degree murder, leaving the judge or jury to determine the appropriate degree based upon the evidence. He faced up to 60 years in prison. According to 2 Supreme Court rulings in 2012, a mandatory life without parole sentence was considered a harsh sentence and violated a juvenile's 8th Amendment right to protection against cruel and unusual punishment. Savon, having no prior criminal record or instances of violence at school on record, played a role in his plea deal, though some family has said there was indeed signs of violence that were never put in his file, allegedly attacking a teacher and throwing a young relative off of a deck. Let's not forget pushing McKenna down the stairs, which he admitted to. It was alleged that he had been moved through several schools before attending Crossroads Alternative High School. Many of his relatives insisted that Savon never showed any aggression, and they would have never guessed he was capable of such an act that he confessed to. On October 30th, 2017, Savon was sentenced to 40 years for the first-degree murder of McKenna Hilton. His earliest possible release date is August 17th, 2056, and is currently housed at Chippewa Correctional Facility. Throughout the trial, David remained devoted to supporting his son, maintaining that he believed it was accidental or had to have followed an argument. He yelled encouragement to his son as he was taken out of the courtroom. Needless to say, the family has been torn apart. Interestingly, the same month his son was being sentenced, David left his cell phone in someone else's car. During a search of the phone, pornographic photos of children were discovered. The phone was given to David's 30-year-old daughter, who turned it in to police. He admitted to searching for teen porn and looking at images of teens younger than 16. The 51-year-old pled guilty to child pornography charges. He was also charged with possession of narcotics, but that was dropped as part of a plea deal. In March of 2018, he was sentenced to 1.5 to 6 years in prison, with him ultimately serving just over 3 years and 4 months. Thank you for watching Justice Calls. Are you listening?